Hello, it's your favorite YouTuber that doesn't go outside, and hello and welcome back to Black Ops 6. So the Season 1 update and Warzone launch happened a few days ago, and all the stuff that they added, like the new weapons and the new maps are kind of whatever, but like that's a general problem with this game, which is a shame because everything else about the game is really good. But anyways, all the new weapons, the new skins, and the crazy bundles in the game and the store that they all added, it's all super cool. But yeah, the game is not running particularly well. I mean, it's running fine. I think it's running slightly worse in terms of like frame rate, comparing the preseason to season 1 launch. But yeah, I think the stability of the game overall has gotten worse, especially with like menus not being as fluid feeling as they were preseason. But yeah, I have been steadily hacking away at the camo grind, and just to showcase that really quick, let me go over here. So I have gold for all the assault rifles. I'm not going to show them all because looking through all these is annoying and lame. I have all the SMGs gold, the shotguns gold, the LMGs gold, and I'm currently working on the marksman rifles. So I have these two last categories for the primary weapons to get gold, and I know I could get diamond on all the other weapons already, but I feel like doing them all at the same time. But yeah, I have 7 more weapons to go here for the primaries to get gold, and then I have, what is it, there's 4 pistols and 2 launchers, so that's 6 weapons, and then there's 2 more melee weapons. So I have 8 more weapons after I do these 7 primaries. So that's what, 15 more weapons to get gold, which is the longest and most arduous part of this entire camo grind. I should go back and check how long it took me to do the Interstellar and Orion grind, because I can just go back and look at the video where I started doing each one, and then the video where I ended up unlocking the camos for each one. Because yeah, I would just check my playtime, but yeah, I sit in menus AFK a lot, so the game time would not be accurate. But yeah, thankfully for the SWAT here, I have all the headshots already, so now I just need to get kills with certain stuff. So hopefully this video will be slightly more entertaining in terms of gameplay than the last one, because I was trying to get headshots in that video and it was not fun. But this is super off topic and random and has nothing to do with anything, but the nominations for the Game Awards came out, and it's 6 of them, I believe. And it's Astrobot, Metaphor, Shadow of the Erdtree, and I don't remember what the other ones were, I'll be honest. I couldn't find it. I was trying to find a tweet that I could just click on, but it's just nothing but lewd art on my timeline, which is fine. But the whole controversy around them changing the rules for Game of the Year, allowing DLCs and seasons and expansions and whatever to be nominated, is causing some people to be very unhappy. Which, I mean, there's something to be said about, not taking shows like this too seriously when they're obviously not giving the time and respect that it deserves, especially with the whole, please wrap it up shit that happened last year. But I do also think that giving games a platform to be recognized and celebrated and rewarded for that is also important. But yeah, it sucks that Game Awards is like the biggest one and the most like well-regarded, quote unquote, in terms of notoriety. But yeah, I can't remember what the other games were, but I'm surprised that Space Marine 2 and Helldivers 2, 2 games that had really big impacts, especially Helldivers, did not even get nominated like at all. I love running into grenades. Now the argument could be made that for Helldivers case, the game, like that game was like insane. Like literally everybody was playing that game when it came out. And I feel like in terms of the game itself and the developers specifically, like it totally deserves at least a nomination for Game of the Year. Like the release window to like the first few months of Helldivers launch was like everybody was talking about and playing that game. But in terms of the publisher, Sony, and the controversies that they unfortunately surrounded the game with, selling the game to people and then taking away access to it because of the whole PSN thing, it's like Arrowhead definitely deserves a Game of the Year nomination at the very least. But does Sony deserve it for locking up the game in that specific way? I don't know. I just spawn die. This map is brain rot to the absolute maximum. And Space Marine 2, I feel like Space Marine 2 is just overall a really good game. Maybe it doesn't have as much content as most people would maybe like, but at the same time, it's not a live service game. Oh my god, it's Texas Roadhouse. But yeah, Space Marine 2 is gonna have post-launch content. There's a season pass and everything, but it's not like, again, it's not like a Vermintide or Darktide, but with Space Marines. It's like a mostly self-contained game in that regard. But even then, that game was popping off when it came out. Everybody was playing through the campaign and through the other modes and whatnot. And again, I feel like that game definitely deserves to be nominated, especially for how popular 40K in general has gotten over the past few years. But yeah, going back to the Elden Ring DLC being nominated, it's really funny because on one hand, I'm like the hugest FromSoft like mark that you'll probably ever meet in your life. I don't think there's a single bad Souls game that they've made. I think the worst one, whichever one you think it is at least like an 8 out of 10, maybe a 7 in some areas. Oh my god, this heirloom map, I was talking about the maps and how they're not great in this game in general. The other 2 maps that they launched in the season are okay, but this heirloom face-off map is horrendous. What was I talking about? I don't even remember. Oh yeah, Elden Ring. Yeah, it happened a few days ago, I think, where you know, I think Jeff Keighley or whoever runs that account for the Game Awards came out and they were talking about how they changed the rules to allow DLCs and expansions and whatever and seasons for a game to be nominated for Game of the Year, which for things like expansions and DLCs, like I kind of get, but like if a season 1 Game of the Year for like a live service game, I think I would have to pull a Johnny Silverhand somewhere. I don't know what building it would be, but I would have to do that. But yeah, like I was saying, I'm the hugest like FromSoft mark you'll ever meet, and even then, I'm like, I don't think a DLC should be able to be nominated for a Game of the Year, especially when the game is from a few years ago and you still have to play said game to access the DLC. You know, Shadow of the Erdtree is like almost a full-on sequel in and of itself, and I feel like if there was an exception to the DLC rule, it would be that. But at the same time, it feels kind of unfair to snub potential current year Game of the Year contenders for a DLC of a game that came out 2 years ago. Like if there was a different category for DLCs specifically, which I don't know why there isn't, then yeah, I feel like Shadow of the Erdtree would definitely take that, no questions asked. Now, as funny as it would be for Elden Ring to win Game of the Year twice, I feel like the credibility and like seriousness of the Game Awards, which is already like, you know, it's basically in the dirt already in terms of its reputation and how much of a joke it basically is. But it feels just wrong for changing the rules at the last minute to allow, you know, for basically an upset for current games to lose to a 2-year-old game. It's just in bad taste. I don't know. Again, I think Shadow of the Erdtree is amazing and it deserves to be recognized, you know, to the fullest extent. But at the same time, it should also be recognized as what it is, which is a DLC, regardless of how good or, you know, huge in terms of content it is. Yeah, my god, that just reminded me. Apparently, there's this rumor going around. This has literally happened today. There's this rumor going around that there's going to be a Dark Souls 3 remastered, which I hope that is not true because I don't know what they would do to it. And it says remaster and not remake, so I'm assuming it's not getting a Demon Souls treatment, which that would be cool, but the game is not even that old. You know, the game still looks really good. It runs, I'm pretty sure there's patches on console that they put out so the game runs at a higher frame rate than the original 30, and it always ran at a higher frame rate on PC anyways. And I feel like for Dark Souls 1, that was just a remaster was sort of justified because there's a lot of jank shit with the original version, especially on PC. You know, it was capped at 30 on everything, you know, without mods, and there was just a whole bunch of other like minute engine shit that was fucked up with that game. And with DS2, launch DS2 or vanilla DS2, I should say, was not definitely not everybody's favorite game. In fact, I've never played vanilla DS2 because by the time I got around to it, Scholar of the First Sin was already a thing. And you know what? I think I can live the rest of my life without ever experiencing vanilla DS2. So yeah, for DS3, I feel like it's probably the least justified of the games to remaster it. I don't even know what, like, because like in DS1, they updated some of the lighting, some of the effects and stuff, but that's a grenade. Yeah, I hope that rumor is not true because I would, one, just be generally bewildered as to why they would be doing that. It's not like there's this fervor for DS3 to be ported or remade or whatever when you can literally just go buy it right now. And two, if they re-release DS3 for whatever stupid reason, it would even build more, what's the word? Resentment towards Sony and FromSoft. Not really FromSoft, I guess more so Sony in that case, or not doing anything with Bloodborne. It's like, why are you remaking or remastering a game that is so widely and abundantly available when this super beloved cult hit has been stranded on the PS4 forever? I mean, you can play it on PS5, but I mean, there's no like updated anything in regards to the like frame rate or whatever. I love that the Mason skin for one of the operators for prestiging is literally the outfit he wears when he gets shot in the face and not something from like when he was alive. I don't know, that's always been funny to me whenever I look at that. But yeah, I feel like the jank of DS1 and DS2 sort of justified them sort of re-releasing the game, you know, and changing some stuff and updating some stuff. But for DS3, I feel like it's like the most polished and streamlined of all the Dark Souls games. So in this instance, I actually hope that that rumor is not true because that would be super stupid and lame. Unless they did some crazy shit like add cut content back into the game, and it would have to be like a lot of it. Because DS3, while being super good, is also very famous for its story not making any fucking sense. Using burst guns in any video game is not my favorite thing to do in the world, and trying to get headshots with these was not very fun. I'll say that to put it bluntly. But yeah, with the whole season 1 update and Warzone integration, the camos for Warzone have also launched, and yeah, people are definitely going through it, you know, trying to grind for those camos. You know, thankfully for the base camos, it's only like eliminations, so you just get kills, which is not that bad. But at the same time, because it's a Warzone, the TTK is like way longer, and some of these special camo challenges are not very fun sounding, or even some of the mastery ones. I think there's like challenges where you have to be the most wanted and get kills, or you have to kill a most wanted target, which is going back to those challenges from the older years where, you know, it was shit that was basically out of your control. You just had to luck into killing somebody while a specific thing was happening. Oh my god. I don't understand why you would play hardcore and use lethal kill streaks. I don't understand. Like, it is actually the most premium thing I've ever seen. Is that people are clearly playing this to camo grind or just to get a bunch of kills with their gun. It's just they just make me sick. But yeah, I'm kind of dreading doing more single shot weapons, and especially the snipers. I guess for the snipers, I might probably want to go into core, actually, just so I'm not getting instantly melted to death trying to line up a headshot with a sniper rifle. But yeah, the general stability issues that came with the launch of the season and the Warzone stuff is it's not great. I hope they fix it at some point, and at some point I mean hopefully soon, because yeah, I feel like the game ran and was more stable, way better before the season. Like, look how like it's just hanging on this loading screen for some reason. Like, what is happening? But yeah, let's actually go over here and look at the Warzone camos. Look at the mastery ones really quick. We have Gold Tiger, which actually looks really cool, and King's Ransom. This is, I don't know if I dislike this more or Opal more in the zombies mode. I think I actually like this slightly more than Opal, because Opal looks like, I don't know, these both look like they were bedazzled by like a 6-year-old. But yeah, and then we have Catalyst, which I actually think looks pretty cool. It's like an animated carbon fiber. And then we have Abyss, which is like super crazy looking. It changes from like blue, green, and black to, you know, black and white. It's super cool. Yeah, but for the base camos, all you have to do is get kills, and this is going to be easier for some weapons than it is others, although you could play Resurgence or Plunder if you're just trying to get a bunch of kills. And then what are the special ones for this weapon specifically? Point blanks. That was something else I wanted to talk about. One of the LMGs, and I believe one of the shotguns as well, was get point blank kills for the special camo. And yeah, I don't know why. I feel like it's way harder to get point blanks than it was in like MW2 or even MW3. I don't remember point blanks ever being an issue when I was playing those games. Maybe that's because shipment facilitated that, you know, specific style of playing where you just run into each other way more. Because I feel like in hardcore, like, people hold angles way more than they did in those other games, at least on the smaller maps. But yeah, point blank kills were not fun. I managed to get the LMG point blanks on Gala, I think it's called, and the map is not my favorite. It's not, I don't think it's as bad as people say it is, but yeah, if you're trying to get headshots, I think it's fine, you know, for like long range. But if you're trying to run around, especially in that middle bit, it's like you just spawn die, and 5 kills shortly after sliding. That's not too bad, depending on how long the window is you have to get a kill. And this is what I was talking about. Get 5 eliminations while being the most wanted contract, or while being the most wanted target. So I don't know how this happens. I think the most wanted is like a random thing that is assigned to a player during a match. I don't think it's something that somebody just picks up. So yeah, while you're most wanted, you have to get 5 kills. And then for King's Ransom, it's 3 kills without dying 5 times. That's not too bad, I guess, depending on the mode that you're playing. Or maybe if you're just cracked at regular Warzone, this is not an issue. I guess it would be worse if it was like get a triple kill, because then there's a timer between each kill that you have to get. So I think this is just get 3 kills period without dying, and however long that takes is however long that takes. So that's not too bad, I guess. And 5 kills on enemies affected by your stun grenade, flashbang, or shock charge. I think this is like probably a plunder thing, just so you can constantly respawn with all your equipment and shit. And this for Abyss, get 5 kills without dying 2 times. It's not too bad. Again, it's, you know, it's not get bloodthirsties, it's just get 5 kills period. Yeah, I know for the secondary weapons like the pistols, they lowered some of these requirements because, you know, they're fucking pistols, and trying to do that in Warzone, you know, with armor would probably not be very fun. So I'm not even sure if I'm going to do this. Maybe once I complete the 2 camos, if I really feel like doing it, I will. But I said the same thing about bioluminescent last year, and yeah, I definitely did not go out of my way to do that. But yeah, still here grinding. I just need to get through all these headshot challenges, and getting the rest of these camos will be way easier. But yeah, if for whatever reason you did enjoy this video and want to help support the channel, then leaving a like and subscribing would be very much appreciated. You know, I'm not one to be like super positive about microtransactions and deluxe editions and all that, but I will say for the season 1, the battle pass, these 2 skins are super cool, and I like them a lot. Bailey's best girl, by the way. If you disagree, you can I don't know, throw yourself in a wood chipper. But anyways, it's gonna do it for me for today. Later.